Hi everyone! Welcome to my first ever video. So for today, I'll be sharing to you my brush pen collections. First, I'm going to show you my Koi coloring brush pen, followed by my Crayola Supertips. Then I'll be showing you my Zig Scroll Brush pens, and last but not least, we have the Tombow dual brush pens. So let's get started! When I started learning calligraphy and lettering, I bought my first brush pen from the brand called Sakura Koi. I don't recommend buying this if you're just starting out since this brand can be quite pricey. Back then, I still wasn't familiar with other cheaper brands, so I just went along and asked my mom to buy this for me instead. So here's what the packaging looks like, and this is what the tip looks like. It's pointy, but the end is actually quite soft. So I find that you have to be careful when writing with this one since the end is so soft. It's a bit hard to make sharp lines. So here I'm showing you how to make thick and thin lines, and this is what it looks like in the continuous stroke. Then you'll see me write the word hello, and if you notice the letters, the edges are actually quite streaky. It's not as smooth since the tip is so soft, and if you use it often, the ends become very worn out and it doesn't give you a very smooth look. But one cool thing about this pen is it's actually water-based, so you can use a water brush or any kind of brush that you have, and you can use water to dilute the ink and it'll give you this pretty watercolor gradient effect. So you can use this technique when you're creating florals or any kind of illustrations. Next up we have is the Crayola Supertips. Now these ones are great brush pens for beginners because it's very cheap and it actually comes in different variety. I have the 20 pack, and I believe you can also get a pack of 48 and 60 colors. The black ones here are actually scented. The packaging for these pens are pretty basic. The tip is actually quite unique. It's not exactly a brush, but it's also not the usual marker tip that we regularly see. I guess that's why they call it the super tip. So it can also create thick and thin lines, but if I have to be honest, the quality is not as great compared to other brush pens, because if you apply too much pressure, the tip can get a bit mushy, and it can also be easily worn out if you use it quite often. But for the price you're paying, this can be a great kickstarter for those who want to try out calligraphy. Just make sure to hold the pen at a certain angle to achieve the thick look since the tip is a bit different. And just like the Sakura Koi, you can also achieve the watercolor effect by brushing over some water and activating the ink. And it also gives you this nice gradient look that you can also use when creating illustrations. For our next brush pen, we have the Zig Scroll Brush. This is one of my top picks. I have the set of 48 colors and you can also buy them individually. But knowing the hoarder that I am, why bother buy only one when I can buy every color? So I can say this is one of the best brush pens out there because not only are the colors great, but the quality is also great. The price is also just right. Now here's a close-up look of the packaging, and this is the tip. The tip is actually a rubber tip, so it doesn't frail and it gives you smooth letters. So like the name suggests, we also have the scroll side, and I don't use it that much since I don't do medieval letterings. But if you like that as well, then this pen is the way to go. So as you can see, the Zig pen performs beautifully. The ink is so smooth, it almost feels like you're spreading butter onto paper, and you can easily do the thin and thick strokes with ease. Here's also a look on how I write the letters. Compared to the first two brush pens, you can see the distinguished strokes between the thick and thin lines. So here is also a look of what the scroll looks like for those who are interested. But there's also one downside for these pens. Unlike the first two brush pens, this one is not water-based, so it doesn't get activated when it gets run over by a brush. But if you don't mind, I think this is overall a great pen to invest in. Now, last but definitely not the least, we have the Tombow dual brush pens. As you can see, I have a bit of a hoarding problem. When I saw a pop-up store called Art Nebula selling these set of 96 colors, I didn't hesitate and bought the entire set. I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty big splurge, but it was very worth it. I use these pens almost every single day, and if you see my Instagram feed, these are the ones I tend to gravitate the most. Among all the pens, these definitely are my favorite, not just because of the wide range of color selection, but also because of the good quality. The tip of the Tombows also come in a rubber-like tip, but compared to the Zig ones, these are softer. But I also find that other colors also have a stiff tip, so maybe it just depends. And this is just what the other end looks like. As you can see, you can also create thick and thin lines, and you can apply pressure to the pen and it can definitely hold its shape, so you don't have to worry about the pen getting deformed when you apply pressure to it. The ink in this pen also lasts a long time. I have these for almost 2 years now, and all of them are still working perfectly, so you really get your money's worth. So you can see me write the word hello, and compared to the first two brushes, the edges are also smooth and it gives you this perfect and clean look. So just like the first two brush pens, the Tombow is also water-based, so you can also achieve the watercolor effect when you apply water on it. So you can also do this technique when creating florals and illustrations. So next, I'll show you what the other end looks like. It's just a thin marker tip that you can easily create thin lines, or you can use this to write or doodle in your journal, or if you do planners, this is also a good marker to use. So overall, I love the Tombow dual brush pens. This is definitely one of my top picks, and you should definitely get your hands on it. So that ends my brush pen collection. I hope you guys enjoyed, and please let me know if you would want to see a more in-depth video showing all of the brush pens, and I could also show you the swatches. And please hit the subscribe button, give this video a like, and make sure to turn on your post notification bell so that you'll know when every time I upload. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!